Hello, everybody. Thank you. Yep.
Sorry. Start
Hello,
again.
everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you all being here. And today I kind of want to go through automations, and we can start with, what are some basic automations that you should have in place, and then throw in some other ones that are just wonderful to have in your life. And first, I want to just kind of get a gauge of how many people are using automations right now. Nice. Okay. So about a little more than half. And which one do you feel of the ones that you have in place, do you feel saved you the most time?
For me,
For
it's SEO by far.
nice. Very cool. Anyone else?
For me, it's the emails. So, but I also don't, I'm not using things as fully as I could. Yeah.
Honestly, we can create automations till the cows come home. There's a lot of things that we can really put into place that will save us time, save us money, and make our clients and customers happy. So today I wanted to focus in on a, a bunch that I use a lot. And then I know, Rob, you're probably using a lot more advanced things than this group, but hopefully we can show you a little bit more about how high level does it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share, I'm going to request to share my screen. Okay. Okay, so we are inside of Go High Level right now, and you can all see my screen, yes?
Yes.
Thank you. And I am down here, so if we're looking at our big menu on the left-hand side, I am under automations. And this will bring up your workflow list. And I have a bunch in here that we can kind of go through and you can see how one looks put together, and then we'll take a look at how do we build them out ourselves. So some of the really basic ones that I have in place, like this is my new subscriber welcome series. So anytime somebody happens to make it into my email list, whether they've filled out a form for something else and they checked the box to opt in, whatever that looks like, I wanted to make sure that as people join my list, and this is when they're starting to learn more about me, that they had a clear picture of who I am, what I can do to support them, and give them some tips along the way. And that was my goal with my welcome series, which doesn't seem to want to load at the moment. We'll let that load. So it's essentially once somebody subscribes, this automation will start. I apologize. I feel like sometimes humidity slows our internet down.
That's the way it always is, right? When you need it, can't get it.
Right, exactly. All right, so while we're waiting for that to load, I just want to give you a peek inside of it. It's nothing, crazy in there. It's just how we want people to flow through our information. And we really want to think about these as experiences. So people can form an opinion of us and our business just by some of the content that they read out there. So we want to make sure it's a good opinion. And we want to help them to better utilize you and work with you. I can't tell you how many people that I have before putting this into place were like, "Oh, I didn't know you did that." My own family doesn't know
Mhm.
what I do, I don't think. So we have to remind people over and over again what it is that we do. People may come to you for one specific thing, and that's what they think of you as. Perfect example of that, the groups that I was in, I helped a lot of ladies with some social media stuff. So then every time they were promoting me, they're like, "Oh, you got to go see Rebecca for social media." And I'm like, that was like one of the things that I did that was pretty low on the list. Whereas building funnels and creating emotion in your marketing is more of my thing. Um, that's all they remembered of me. And that's what they told everybody. So people weren't coming to me for ads or funnels or anything else. they were like, oh no, I'm all set on social media. So we want to have the opportunity to educate people on what we do from our own from our own point of view, because we know what we do better than them. I'm gonna try something else. Okay, well,
there.
that just yeah. Okay, so in here, it's pretty simple. Once somebody gets this tag, so we always have a trigger in our automations. So something has to happen in order for this to kick in. So in this case, it is they've been given a tag for the marketing newsletter. Now, there's other kinds of triggers and things that we can work with. There's so many in high level here. And they even have, like, if you're really, maybe on like Rob's level, you may want to invest in the upgraded actions here, because you can really go to town with every single move somebody makes. You can have an automation for that.
Hey, Rebecca, could you please explain what Rob's level is? I don't understand what is he
Rob
more.
is automating things like his SEO and things like that. So he's taking it to a different level than I know you guys do.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. So simple, we have a tag, and then the first email goes out. And when we're sending out the emails through high level, we can either just have them in, there's either like a little box you can paste it in. I prefer to do the branded email. So this has my logo and all of that. So you can make those inside of your emails and then choose the one that you want to use in here. And it's really all about me sharing with people that we're going to grow together, and all the things that I continue to learn, the ads that I run to test things, all of that, we're going to, it's all going to continue, and you're going to get more information out of me as I continue to grow as well. So we're setting that expectation. We should also let people know, like, how often your emails are going to come out. Let them know, what to expect from you. If I signed up for somebody's newsletter and they were sending, a daily email, I may not want to be on that newsletter because my inbox is pretty full as it is. But you can manage expectations. And some people, like if you have things that you're sending out daily and they are really engaging, if it's really engaging content, it may not be a big deal. But whatever it is that you're doing, we want to manage those expectations. Okay, so a few other ones that I think are fun to have. So many of us are doing online bookings. We want to make sure that those appointments will get the reminders and everything else so that we can have the best opportunity for a show up. So in here, we can see these are not only is it from their booking and giving the reminders, but this is also putting them into the opportunities section of high level. Now, if you haven't started using that yet, this is pretty good in a way that, for example, I recently set up companion pages for someone that wrote a book. And when they go through there, it's free to get into those companion pages. It has a lot of extras that they can use with the book. But then at the end, there is an invitation to sign up for a strategy session or a clarity session. And if somebody does that, now it's a book, so they're going to have people finding it at all different points along the way. It's not going to be just at launch, so people will be coming in on an ongoing basis. So to help them to make sure that they don't miss anyone that's filling out that that's requesting that clarity session, when somebody does that and when they fill out the little form that goes with it, it's automatically put into an opportunity. So they can see like, oh, we have a list of people that have taken their assessment. We need to look at the results, set whatever it is that they have to do. So we can set those up. And then let me, now that this window is working, let me just show you guys. In the opportunities, you have pipelines. So a pipeline is your sales coming in, and the opportunities are those individual sales. I love how this window just doesn't want to do it today. So, so in here, we'll come back to the pipeline in a second. So we're showing that, okay, if somebody booked their appointment, they're going to be moved to the booked stage in the pipeline. They're going to have a tag added for appointment booked. And then it's going to remove tags if they are deemed like a no-show or cancellation. And then for internal notifications, because it's always nice to know when somebody books with you, you have some options like that. You can get an email or get it if you have text marketing set up, you can get a text message. The person that you're meeting with is also getting that confirmation. And then it's just reminding them as you're getting closer. So it's always nice to have those appointment confirmations and reminders all automatically set up. I can definitely see a difference. So and this is something I have to get way better with, if I schedule a meeting with somebody and I'm just in my Google Calendar and I set that meeting up, there's no reminders with that. It's just my regular Google Calendar. But if I actually just make their appointment in high level, then I know they're going to get the reminders. So it's one of those things that's an easy switch to save a lot of time and then make sure that people know when your appointments are.
Turn up your brightness.
Now, in addition to this, we have things like if they don't show up or if the appointment is canceled, then it will send a different set of emails. So you can really customize your messaging based on the person's actions, which I love. Okay. So then you can do things like this is a 52-week nurture campaign. So every week it's going to send something out automatically. We always do, whether you have the text feature or not, we always build things out to have the email and text. So if you ever want to power on the text, you have it there. But you don't necessarily have to do that. I have a client, actually, you guys, many of you know her, Mitzi Campbell, and she has her product called Your Positive Moment, and it's a daily texting program. So that is completely on automation. People go month to month to month. Like we set them up, we load in the months ahead of time, and then it just flows. So once somebody signs up, there's nothing more we have to do on our end. So here's where you can simply have an email, and then it'll wait 7 days to send the next. And this is the other option. If you didn't want to create more of a branded email, it can just go right in here, and it's a simple text email. Now, I do have a bunch of examples to show everybody, but if there's anything specific that you guys are wondering about, I would love to cover those first.
How do you know when somebody, if they don't show up, how does it kick them into the right place in the automation?
I believe that like when you're working with your calendar, see if this one's working yet. Why not? Why would it? When you're in your calendar, oh, I don't have anything in this one because it's the demo account, but if you had an appointment on there, you would be able to mark them as no-show or canceled. Or if they cancel themselves, it'll automatically mark them.
But if they don't show, you have to go in and make the modifications so that they get put into the no-show automation.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep. Because otherwise because it's not really, it can't see Zoom in that way, it wouldn't know if they showed up or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So other ones are like the database reactivation. So if you haven't, if you have like a bunch of people on your mailing list that haven't been so engaged, I always recommend having a separate workflow or automation for them because the language is very different. I mean, one of the great things about automation is we can really get our messaging to align with how the people are moving through your site or through your funnels. So the database reactivation is great if you're looking to, re-engage people that haven't really been active. One of the other fun ones are happy birthday wishes. If you're collecting birthdays when you have your onboarding, it can automatically send out birthday wishes. It's a nice little touch. It's a nice little, hey, we're thinking about you. I still have a dentist that sends me birthday wishes that I haven't been a patient of in like 5 years, but it's still nice to get. Some people have like different ways of support. So if you have a company where people submit tickets or anything like that, this is a way that you can automate those responses. Missed call text back. This is a fun one. If you guys have text marketing included in your high level, if somebody calls your number, then it will automatically send, and you missed the call, it'll automatically send them a text saying, hey, sorry we missed your call. How can we help you? And I've had a lot of people have full conversations with the text system, asking me questions, and it was answering them. But this is something great. Like for me, especially, this worked well for me because I'm on calls most of the day. So if somebody does call the office line, it's unlikely that I'm answering when they actually call, to be honest. And then if they're calling my cell phone, I get tons of spam calls every day, at least like 15 calls. So I don't always answer numbers I don't recognize. So in this case, it was a great thing for me because people would write back to it, and I may not even known the call had come in, but they're texting back. So this was a pretty good one that I had in place.
What number are they
Review.
calling when they call? Like they're calling, you can link up any number you want to this
If you have a
text
number
back.
in the system, it will, like if you set up a phone number in here, it will, and somebody calls that number, yeah, it'll go through that. Like I set up one of my business numbers through high level, but then I noticed that because I'm an agency admin, I get notifications on everyone's account. So I stopped looking. So it was very overwhelming number of notifications. So I don't actually get to see when the calls were coming in. So the text back really helped with that.
So you have to put your
People thought it
specific
was me.
number. But what if it's a work number and you're not on the phone? You can still answer it before the automation kicks in?
So the way I had like this one set up is if somebody calls that number, it forwards the call to my cell phone. That's typically and I know if I pick it up and it says press a number to connect, because that's usually the message you hear from the system, I know it's coming from high level
Okay.
versus all the people that are trying to sell me Google business listings,
Yeah. So, but then you can pick up if you want to, right then.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many rings that you can set up the number of rings before that runs into it sends a text back?
It seemed to have a lot of rings. I don't remember having to adjust the number of rings. I just know I missed a lot of them.
Okay.
So how many people are really good about asking for reviews after projects? By a show of hands. Yeah. I'm not raising my hand either. Don't feel bad. So this is a great one where you can automate that. So if you completed out a project, we can look at, let's say it's a Google review. So maybe they just get a tag and then it's automatically going to send them through this process. So we are able to remind them a few times to do the review. I know my team is also set up for me. It's a review automation, but then like if somebody for whatever reason decided they only wanted to give me 2 stars, it would actually forward their review to me so I have an opportunity to correct it before it really goes to Google. So there's things that you can do like that too.
So yeah, I know of somebody who offers a service where when you send them a link, it pops up a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if it's a thumbs down, then it doesn't go out to Google. It goes to is that what this is doing?
Pretty much the same idea, yeah. So it's making sure that, you know,
All right.
because
So
obviously if they're going to post, they're going to post. But if we have that moment just to try to make it better so that they don't do the bad review, because it's a lot harder to try to make them change their mind after it goes up.
Well, so if let's say you do something for me and I'm not that happy with it, and that would never happen, I'm sure, Rebecca, but so I decide are you sending me a link send out a review? Is that what you're doing?
So in this case, what it would be is, let's say we wrap up a project, and then I just tag you with the, review tag, whatever your tag is. It will automatically activate this automation that will send out a few emails to make sure that they're, and texts if you want, to make sure that they are giving you a good review or giving you a review in general.
And where does that review go? That review gets submitted right away. Is that correct?
Right, it does get submitted, and in this, the one that we're looking at here, this is a direct. It's going right to Google because you can connect your Google and your Facebook to High Level, and you can see all of your reviews collectively through the two platforms. So in this case, it's asking for the Google review, and then it's going to go right to Google. But
But
like
is
I
there
said, my team set up a different one to make it so that if they didn't choose, glowing reviews, that it came to me first.
so how does it get to you and not to so in other words, it doesn't go out to Google, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean this one that's set up here, because this isn't the special one I had my team create.
Right. Not this
Um,
one, the other one.
yeah, but the other one will kind of come to me as like a form submission.
So don't you do all of them that way? Because then you could capture any ones that were not in good shape for you.
Well, because they also, I mean, Google likes knowing who the user is. You know what I mean? To accredit it to their profile.
Uh-huh.
So I don't honestly, I haven't had to deal with the less than good stars. So we did a test round in the very beginning, and that was a little while ago. But I remember it coming in, and then he was telling me how I can go from there. But I haven't had to do it,
That's good. Yeah.
luckily.
I mean, so I was just wondering because this other person sells a service that provides that, making sure that you only have 5-star reviews. If anything's not a 5-star review, it comes in as as a thumb,
Heard of
as
that
a,
service, and yes, this can replace that.
okay.
Rebecca,
Hmm.
your workflow is better than mine, but to give people an idea, we did a test in February. End of February, we had 47 reviews. We did something like this, but not as detailed. And today, I think we have 111. So 8 weeks, it works. And
Yeah.
for anybody listening, we have a retail store, so it's a little bit of a difference, but it does work.
I feel like a lot of us just forget to ask for that review. People are usually very happy to do it. It's not that they don't, that they're not going to do it. It's just something that's not top of mind. So we can make it top of mind for them.
And you have a good follow-up. In fact, I'm going to steal a couple things here. I didn't think of doing this. Really, I just send out one and I stopped. I figured I don't want to piss anybody off, but I like that.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, like people don't always see every email that we send out. So we're not trying to be annoying, but we want to make sure that it's happening.
Yeah.
And you can always make it so that once the review happens, it'll remove them from that workflow. They won't get any more reminders and those kinds of things.
Professional persistence.
Mhm. And another thing that happens with the automations in here, like there's so many ways that we can say, for example, let's say you sent out an email and people were going to they were going to like click to go sign up for an event. But let's say that you saw that people clicked, but you didn't see that they signed up. You can have the email system automatically tag anyone that clicks, and then you can go back in and look at all the people that clicked. You can add a tag to say remove anybody that did sign up and send out emails to them. So it's nice to automate the people that are taking action on certain things, but maybe they got interrupted before they signed up. Think of it like if you've ever left something in a shopping cart online and then you get an email saying, hey, I see some really funny ones like, hey, it's lonely in here. Don't forget about me in your shopping cart. Make it fun. People love fun. anytime that you can add a little fun in, they remember it, and people remember when you make them laugh.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like on the airlines when they go over their safety stuff. Some of them are pretty funny and they do a good job with that.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're like, I've seen this 100 times. I don't
Yeah.
care. And let's see. So some of the in the reviews, I know that we have it set up here to um to show, like, you can have a widget in here that on your website that shows all your reviews coming in. So it'll have like the most up-to-date ones. But we all know that responding to reviews is powerful, but if you forget to do that, High Level is going to do it for you. And I discovered that by mistake. I was like, who in my team responded to this? It sounds great, but I was just like, who did it? Because I didn't even get a chance to do it. It was like 10 minutes after the review came in. So I'm asking everybody, and I was like, oh, High Level did it. Look at that.
You got
So
standard responses in High Level that you created?
no, it is literally it has to be AI because it's taking what it sees in the review and mirroring it back.
And how is it making it better for the person?
It makes it better that you respond to them, and it's like
Thank you
more
for,
eyes
like,
on your review.
thank you for letting us know that this happened to you, and we're
Yeah,
looking at.
it's like, thank you, Rachel. We're so glad that you enjoyed working with us, and we can't wait to work on your next project, stuff like that. Yeah.
Even if they said that's the really suckiest thing I ever had happen to me, it's going to say, "Oh, thank you for working with us." And
Don't know what it would say. I'll have to find someone in High Level that doesn't have spectacular reviews to answer these.
well, there's
Um,
got to be somebody who knows how
right.
it's set up, you know.
Yes. And I've hired a tech team that used to work at High Level, so they are far more in depth on the platform than me.
That's
So
good.
yeah. So now I want to kind of go through how we create our own. So these are all fun to have, but what if we want to get granular about what we're doing? So we come up here to create workflow. We can start it from scratch or we can select a recipe. I'm going to start with a recipe and then I'll show you what it looks like to start from scratch as well. They do have a ton of recipes in here and they keep adding to them. So let's see, let's find one. WhatsApp is getting more and more popular. There's a way to automate like some WhatsApp promotions. Okay, so you're like comment automation. If somebody is commenting on your posts on social media, it can automatically respond for you. Let's say you put a post out there that was like,
But all these are different. All these are
comment
different.
yes.
You have a
Right.
different one for Instagram, a different one for Facebook.
Yep.
You have to set up a different one for every one of your social media
Yes. And that's okay because you may have different audiences on each platform. Like the audiences are very different. So you'd
accounts.
want to modify your message a little bit to align with the platforms themselves. Let's see. This is a long-term reactivation email or recipe. Um,
And you can change, you can edit these. You pull them up, it's
oh yeah,
standard. You can do whatever you want with it.
exactly.
Do you have any like resource material, like a video of how to set up a campaign, or is it just a matter of looking back at this video to see how you're doing it?
So I can probably find you some links on the thing. Anyone that is, one of my under my agency does get a lot of these tools. They get videos from me on how to set everything up.
Mm.
This is a very popular one. I'm going to take the webinar registration confirmation and reminders, and we're going to go into this one. So right off the bat, this recipe fills in a lot of the blanks for us. This trigger, there's two triggers that can get you into this automation so far. We have a trigger link. And if you guys haven't worked with these are pretty cool. Let's say you're inviting somebody to a webinar and they're already on your list. You can send out a trigger link that when they click it, it automatically puts them into the automation. So it's giving them a one-click option to join your event. They don't have to put their name in, nothing. They're registered. So once they click that link, maybe it goes right to the confirmation page where you have some instructions or whatever, but it'll automatically register them. So they click that link and then it'll tag them. This is where you set your webinar date and time, and then all of the timing below goes off of that. And then you have your confirmation, your 24-hour reminder, your 1-hour reminder, and 10-minute reminder. And again, we do, you can have them just in here, or you can make the prettier email to grab one of the templates. So that is using the recipes. They have things pretty organized for you, and you're kind of just filling in your blanks, which is a great way to get started here. All automations right now will allow re-entry. They have changed the settings to do that, meaning that let's say if it is a webinar and somebody signs up twice, they're going to go through the automation twice. Where if that's turned off, they'll only be able to go through once. Okay. Now, if we were starting from scratch, this is scratch. We have a blank canvas for ourselves. So when we're looking at the triggers, this is where we can really get granular. So this is like information that's in the system that your contact has. Then we have different events. So let's say they submitted a form or they completed a survey. Go ahead, Bob.
No, I had to mute myself for a call. I'm sorry, I'm back.
Again, if you have a trigger link, this is also, you can connect it to your Facebook lead forms, your TikTok, and I believe LinkedIn. Yep, LinkedIn as well. Waiting for them to do that Google one because that would be amazing. So all of these you can put in as, whatever that event. An event means like something specific happened in the system. Then you have specific like appointment triggers, opportunity triggers, affiliate things that you can add in here. So for example, let's say, high level allows you to create your own affiliate system. And then let's say you have a place on your website where people can apply to be an affiliate. They fill out that form, and that can start off an automation that gives them all the information maybe about your company, your values, the products that you want them to sell, how your affiliate system works, whatever your heart desires. This is an opportunity to really educate people without having to do it yourself. High level also allows you to create courses, so you can have automations based on the courses. So for example, if somebody signs up for a product, I make sure I add in here, let's say it's the offer access granted gets them into a course. We can select the offer, which, we don't have any in here. And then it'll specifically say, okay, if somebody gets this offer, maybe you want a specific welcome email to go out, or you want to give them instructions or something like that. You can do whatever your heart desires. The other thing that you can do is search the triggers. So here's the ones that I use more all the time. So email, and then the email event, this will make it so we're sending out an email. Okay. So then we have internal things. If you want people to move to different places in your pipeline and you want the opportunity to switch to a different stage, you can do that in here. If we have, you have logic. So let's say you wanted to put logic in here, like if somebody signs up for a clarity session, for example, and then you want them to complete an assessment before they get to that session, it will not send them the reminder emails until they complete that. It'll just kind of hammer home that they have to complete that or the session won't happen. But if it sees that they did complete that, then it can automatically put them into the next step. So again, we're taking away all of the extra time we would have to spend by saying, no, 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 please complete that, or having your VA reach out to people or any of that. We can do it all automatically.
So you have built-in reminder emails when they haven't completed whatever it is you're asking them to complete, and as soon as they complete it and submit it, then it triggers the automation to move to the next step. Is that how it works?
Yes. So it would be like it looks for the condition. So has this condition been met? And in that case, it would be the assessment. So if it hasn't been met, then they're going to get these emails. If it has been met, they'll get the next set of emails, that kind of thing.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. You can also automatically send out invoices, estimates, or all of that. We can add, this is kind of new, we can add data to Google Analytics and Google Ads. So we have here. Yeah. So you have, I mean, like so many things that you can automate in here on the regular, like in the non-upgraded actions. So there's just the ones that you have to upgrade, they have these little crowns here. So the workflow AI is more about, because high level will also allow you to use AI to build everything out and you don't have to do all of it. So if you upgrade to that package, you can do that too.
How much is that package?
The AI package, I believe, is $79 a month. But you get all their AI tools. I don't think it's just the workflow. It's the funnel builder. You get an AI employee that helps, that can answer calls and all that fun stuff. I've heard some of those calls and they're pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that we can really customize the journey that we're bringing our clients through. So yeah. I want to leave some time for questions, or if you guys want to see anything specific, I'd like to do that for you. So let's begin when you're ready.
I have a question unrelated to automations. So, well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I would like to table that question unless there's space for me to ask something unrelated to automations.
Okay.
So you just let me know if I can jump in.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I saw somewhere you had landing pages. How do the landing pages kind of merge into workflows, or how does that work?
It's a great question.
You're talking about the landing page forms here?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that's the same as it's a complete landing page.
Let me see. So, website. So this one's kind of just short and sweet based on the form that they're filling out and making sure that you're notified if somebody fills out the form.
Okay.
Let's see this one. I also get like snapshots. So people under my agency, I have different snapshots for different industries that send these all built out for everyone. Let's see. It's the email. This is more about like how they're interacting with the page.
Okay.
There are some levels of high level, or even in the AI automation stuff, it will build your pages for you, if that's what you're asking.
No, I just want to make sure you can use like a separate landing page within the CRM within
Yes.
these workflows.
Yes, absolutely. So what I've noticed with high level is you have your what we call website pages and you have funnel pages. And the website pages, that's like for your typical websites and all that, but the funnels have a little bit extra functionality for like upselling, having product bumps and that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit more on what you can do in that flow through the funnel, but regardless of wherever let's say it's the form that you're looking for, regardless of wherever that's placed in your system, it's going to be able to see it and you're going to be able to have an automation and any actions with it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. So in like with these, let's see. Oh, look at so once somebody fills out this form, the form that would be attached, it would automatically go in and move it through these funnel steps. And then if you did pair them with your pipelines, that's when you can kind of see like where people are in the process. It can kind of, I like the pipelines for like a quick visual. Kind of wish I didn't go away from the page before. Um, I like the pipelines for like a visual of where people are in the system or like in the buyer's journey.
Sure.
So in this case, this is more of like just a strategy session, and you can see like I can move myself around, but you can set automations like if the if they did respond, it can see it and then automatically move it over. Same with the appointments booked.
Nice.
Yeah. I do like especially if you have salespeople, because then everyone can have their own pipeline. They can see their clients. I have a few, even though I don't have salespeople anymore. I have a few that are for like to manage my goals. So I have goals of getting on more podcasts, doing more speaking gigs. So I have a pipeline for that kind of outreach. And then I, of course, offer people high level through my agency. So I have a pipeline for that. So you can set them up like that just so you're keeping, I mean, for me, I like keeping kind of the flows separate. And then it visually helps me see where everybody is. Okay, any other questions before we let Dr. Bob ask other questions? Dr. Bob, it's all yours.
Hey, wow, this is a treat. And grab your attention for a little bit of time. So, this probably relates to automations too, but I'm trying to figure out uh, I've been a chronic pain relief expert and stress relief expert, and I've focused on pain because people are quite responsive who have pain, and it gets moving better than somebody who might maybe has high blood pressure and they're medicated and they think life is wonderful or whatever. Um, but uh, uh, but I do a lot more than just pain or stress. I've done clinical trials showing that the modalities I use are effective for anxiety and depression and sleep disturbance and all these other types of things. Relationships. I've coached hundreds of people and in relationship coaching and things like that. General life coaching. So I feel like people don't understand the breadth of what I do and that it's all research based and clinically proven, et cetera. So I was thinking, maybe I should have a landing page for each discipline. Okay, like if you have anxiety, you're on the anxiety page. If you experience depression, you're on the depression page. If you experience sleep disturbance or headaches, you're on the headache page. I mean, is that a way to go? I mean, I guess I'm looking for your expertise on how to set this up, or is it better to have a website that has all of these different um, you know, buttons for different conditions, which
Yeah.
my concern is if I try to make myself too broad, then people think, oh yeah, he thinks he can do everything, and there's no way anybody can do everything. So I don't know. So you have any input for me on that?
First, I get that a lot because people feel like I do everything.
Yeah, when
So
you
I
triggered
understand that.
when you said what you said, it triggered me to think about my situation because you do a lot more than just, whatever, SEO or whatever. So anyway, that's why I wanted to ask it of
Yeah.
you. Sorry to interrupt.
So I feel I like creating separate pages for things because I can get the SEO benefits of that. So I would want one page focused on anxiety relief. And then I would look at what people are actively searching. I mean, this is just basic SEO. What are people actively searching for that you can align that page with?
Right.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to all be linked on a website. You can send people to these pages, like let's say you're running ads for pain relief, and you can send them directly to that pain relief page. Uh, Above everything else, one thing to note is when you do have your website in high level, Oh,
Yep.
this may not show it because I don't think I have a domain in here. No. Hmm. Let me just grab open another account for you and show you
I've,
an
I've,
example. But
I've I've connected a domain to,
mhm,
yeah, okay, to my GHL account.
definitely. And what I want to show you is how to make sure that Google sees the pages that are under that domain.
Okay.
Because that's, I mean, if people, if Google or search engines can't see the page, then don't bother making it, like, unless you're just using it as a teaching thing. But if you want to get the SEO benefits, obviously they need to know it exists.
Right. So if I have like Dr. Bob Levine is my .com is my main that's my brand, and it's my what I do. So if I'm going to have do I need a separate URL for each of the pages, or is it drboblevine.com/anxiety, or Dr. Bob Levine?
Anxiety. Yeah.
Just do it that way
Yeah.
as opposed to a
Once it loads
separate.
over here, I'll show you what we have to do.
Okay.
Um,
We have to kill a little
uh,
time here.
yeah,
Yeah.
So inside of, I do like creating those separate pages because you're right. I mean, people are, in your case, very specifically and literally searching out their pain points.
And
So they're,
they don't realize they're how integrated they are. Like you can't,
yeah,
I can't work on somebody's chronic pain without knowing what the quality of the relationships are in their life,
right.
because it's all linked up and it's all impactful. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, Rebecca.
I know you're good. And the page loaded. So here we go. All right. So here's a couple domain names that I own inside of manage. And you always want to do this with the non www version because your regular domain redirects the www will redirect to the regular domain. So we always do the changes on this side of it. We want to come to your XML map.
Okay.
Now it's asking you, okay, in this domain, what do you want to the XML map, the site map allows Google to see what pages are on your website. It gives them like an index.
Okay.
So we can come in here and say, all right, there's a website with Coffee with Creatives and there's a blog. Do I want all of this to be indexed? In my case, yes, I do.
Why?
Because if it's not indexed, then they don't know it's there. So if I
Okay.
want the public to see any of these pages, I come into here and I select, okay, these are the ones I want, and I hit proceed.
This is a pretty important step here, I think,
This
right?
is a very important step, and I'll make a separate video for it too.
Oh, cool.
Um, but then we say generate and save. Now it has created that sitemap.
Okay.
So it helps you to put all of that in front of the search engines, and then it allows you to have those separate pages, have separate websites, and still have them show when people are searching. So Dr. Bob, in your case, if you are looking to break out those pages, which I do think is a good idea, you'll look at like the keywords for depression could be, or anxiety, it could be how to reduce anxiety, or so maybe your keyword would be reduce anxiety. But we'd have to just see what the competition is.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the word
We'll look
eliminate. Drug-free elimination is what I like because it's all about drug-free and it's all about eliminating symptoms rather than trying to manage them and suffering with a reduced level of a symptom as opposed to just eliminating the symptom, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, I'm on board with that, but people are not going to search that way. They're not going to be, they don't know what you know.
Okay.
Remember that. So we're just going on, they feel a pain in their body and they're searching how to make it go away.
Yeah. Okay.
You're the one
So,
that gets to tell them, we're not just going to manage this pain, we're not just going to mask it, we're going to eliminate it.
right. Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would have like, I don't know, probably 8 different landing pages for
Yeah.
each mission. And, there'd be a generic video on each one, which is like, this is who I am, this is what I do. And then I have another video, just a short one that's tailored to the condition. So all I have to do is plug in a different video for the condition and the descriptions are a lot the same, except I plug in a certain uh, set of symptoms.
Exactly. Exactly.
I guess AI could handle that pretty easily too, right?
AI can help you tremendously there.
Set this page up so that it addresses anxiety. Set this page up so it addresses depression symptoms. Set this page up so it addresses stress or whatever it is, or sleep disturbance, headache,
Exactly.
all of which I've done clinical trials for.
Yeah, you can say write the page copy for, let's say it's the anxiety page.
Yeah.
Say, here are a few of the things that I want to highlight and let it know this is the keyword I want it to be focused on. So that way it'll write SEO copy for you.
Okay. And
The
so
more
then
specific you can get with your chat prompts, the better the outcome will be.
so you just keep revising it until you get kind of what you want, right? Like if
I
it's
like to try to give it as much information up front. For example, I was putting together an email for a coach, and we've been teaching people about celebrating small wins. But now we wanted to shift to noticing your discontent and what's not really working. But I had to give it a fair amount of like, this is the story that the coach always tells about this. Um, these are the points we want to hit, and this is how I want them to feel at the end.
oh,
Feeling
interesting.
is so important in the way people purchase stuff. So
Yeah,
they're buying with emotion. I mean, Dr. Bob and yours, like people will almost give anything to get out of pain.
yeah, pretty
So
much.
there's a lot of emotion there.
Yeah, the other problem is people, I don't take any insurance either, so it's cash based, and that poses a problem for some people who think that if it's not covered by insurance, they shouldn't be doing it, or they shouldn't allocate their money, even if they have a lot of money. Wealthy people just do not sometimes want to commit the funds to themselves. They're
Mm.
not investing themselves for their health, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's the human condition sometimes, right? And then
People can use something like Affirm, like through Stripe in high level. They can choose Affirm or Afterpay to make payments to somebody else, and you get your money up front.
oh, that's interesting. I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to talk about that. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good. No,
Can
yeah,
connect on that. Yeah, take your money up front if they want to make payment. Because some people, you can even point out to them that however much money they're paying to go see their doctors for no results, it would pay for itself in however many visits.
it's
And you can say,
ridiculous.
here, you can make payments on that, and it's like you're going to a visit, you
Yeah,
know?
but also, yeah, it's like, do you want to waste your time? And for most people who come to my site, what you've been doing hasn't been working. So we have to start out with that premise. What you've
Right,
been doing hasn't been working, or you wouldn't be here.
right,
You know,
right.
s- and what I do, works, and I got the data to prove it. I don't know if it's valuable to talk about that for people, but um,
And you do want to show the data for anyone, the logical side of the brain that wants to make sense out of what the purchase is.
yeah,
But we can tap into like it's not just about getting out of pain. It's being able to spend more time with your kids, grandkids. It's being able to enjoy your life and go on trips.
yeah,
I've talked to you about my mother a few times where she lets her pain run her life. She doesn't know if she can go anywhere until she sees how much pain she's in that day. That's not
right.
the life you want, you
That's
know.
sure.
But
Yeah.
that is a true story for so many people that I know with chronic pain.
Yeah, and but yet, why? So I'm always attempting to figure out why are they stuck? What
Mm.
has them stuck, right? I know why they're stuck. I mean, they have automatic, subconscious mind-driven automatic patterns that keep them stuck, and there's no way out until they understand that they have these patterns and they have to be interrupted. And once they're interrupted, the person's free to make all kinds of changes. But until they're willing to engage in that kind of conversation, they stay stuck.
Yeah.
And
And you
we
can
can,
make the insurance companies the bad guys. They're the ones that aren't going to, give you the care that you need to get well. They're just going to give you the care you need to be okay today.
Right, exactly. And I don't blame them. They just don't know how to do it.
Right.
And they also don't invest in stuff that could really work well.
Right.
They have their patterns of how they do business, and that's it.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Awesome.
thanks for
You're
that.
very
And
welcome.
I guess with the lead with the well, I'll stop here. That's good. Thanks. Because I know you're going to wrap up pretty soon.
We can touch base privately, Dr. Bob.
That'd be great, Rebecca. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Juliet's back on camera.
It's
Hey.
here. All right, everybody. Do I have any other questions about automations, or can I answer any other high-level questions? All right.
I do have this is my first exposure to high level. I've heard about it,
Yeah.
but this is my first exposure. It looks incredibly powerful. I love it. I'm wondering if you have primers that you would recommend that kind of cover the basics and bring people up to speed generally on the whole package.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a link. Actually, Julia, you can send Matt a link to book a session with me, and I can go through, and really it's about how you're going to use it, you know? So I can help you with that. And if you haven't chosen or if you haven't set up your account yet, then, if you're under my agency, then you get all of that support included
Okay.
in your monthly fee.
That's the
Rebecca,
way.
can you
That's
go
the way
ahead
to
and send it out to him? I don't think we corrected it.
Okay, I will do that.
Thank you. I'll get you Matt's email.
Thank you. Yeah, excellent, Matt. And then you can set that time up, and then I'll go through the whole demo with you. We'll look at the things that maybe you want to implement first, but you can see how you can grow into the system.
I probably need to set it up with my marketing team. Well, actually, I have probably 3 different organizations that could probably use this. So I look forward to hearing about it.
Well,
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to give Rebecca a shout out and Julia because they work so well together. But I know Rebecca makes herself available, and that's really cool because and I'm not yet a part of her agency, but yet she's still open to me getting together with her and providing the information. So it's only a matter of time before I jump in there, Rebecca. And but I really appreciate you for your willingness to be available and just provide your talent and your information to people. Yeah. So.
I'm blessed with
I
a tech brain, so I love to be able to help whenever I can.
I did hire Rebecca to set. I knew nothing about this. I still know very little about it, but today was very helpful. And I hired her to set up the whole thing and do every little thing. And she explains it, and she has videos, and she's a really comprehensive and easy for someone I'm not particularly interested in it, but I know I wanted it and I need it. And so she can handle the entire thing. She does a great job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Rebecca is my agency, and I love her. I probably bother her, but I love her.
She's unbotherable, is what I found.
Truly, though, but
You
I'm
guys,
saying you're not a bother.
I gotta wrap this up because Dorothy
Yes.
and I have an appointment right now. So thank you all for coming, and we will see you next month. Next month is what, Rebecca? Do you know the top
I
of your
believe it
head?
was funnels.
Yeah, I
believe
think it's
funnels.
funnels next month. So everybody should be here, even me.
Mhm.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye bye.